Hello everyone and welcome to the latest update from Medway Peninsula. So what have we got in this episode? Well, we've got lights, we've got fights, and we try to answer the big question. So let's get on with it. Okay, let's start at the church where progress has been made. Got a few more gravestones to put in, but as you can see there's a couple of lampposts and we've got lighting in the church. If we move on, this is how the yard has progressed. So as you can see, I put a couple of lights in. We have got the yard office with a fella just coming out, some barrels, grip box, and as you can see we've got a working brazier. If I just move along here, just in this scene we've got a little issue with a drainage manhole, so that's been worked on. And we've also got some scrap row and scrap sleepers. Ballast has gone in. Couple of more drainage manhole covers, that's scale model scenery. A little bit of foliage. An inspection cover. Point motors. Obviously dummy ones from Pecco. I'm going to put some, when I get some suitable wiring in, I'm going to put some cables from the point motors go into the trunking. There's one of the first of the ground signals. I just scoot around. There's another one. These are working ground signals from DCC Concepts. That's just some more ballast in the middle where it's drying. Another inspection pit. Then if we move on a little bit further, you will see we've got some relay cabinets, and again there'll be some more cabling going from the ground signal. Not much working on the high street apart from we've got some trees in, yeah, which I think look quite okay, and the grids at the bottom, they have downloads from the Railway Modelers Club, which is effectively scale model scenery. So there we are. I'll just give you a quick overview again of the high street with the lighting in. So that's where we are at the minute, and I'll leave to last where I did mention the fight, and unfortunately that the Duke of York, Phil the Fists, has had a dust up. Dan's been laid out, and funny enough he's made Craig now fancy to go. So yeah, there we are folks. It's all happens in Medway. Okay, so that brings us up to date on what's been happening, and I think you'll appreciate it. It's been a fair bit done. And I'd like to take the opportunity to thank, and I'm trying to track down who it was, when I decided against having the small station at the top end. I asked for ideas, and somebody said a little yard, and that's where I went with. And I think, I'm going to say so myself, that it's come out quite nicely. And yeah, so I'd like to say thanks very much for the suggestion. It's been really good. So next up, will be the big question. The big question. Liverpool, Everton? Jam first or cream first on your scone? And of course, in modelling world, to weather or not to weather. Splits opinions. Some people would say, why the heck would you want to spoil a beautifully liveried private owner wagon? Other people would say, when did you ever see a pristine wagon on the railways? Not prototypical. And I suppose I'm sort of in the middle of the camp. I have a little penchant for weathering, and I've got a few locos that have been factory weathered. And so with this, I thought I'd have a go myself. I'd had a little go with a couple of coal wagons, and you might have seen that in a few videos back. And I quite like the look. I didn't want to heavily weather some of the private owner wagons, and I've probably decided for that I will just do a light weathering, and a BRM magazine done a good article on that. But I thought I would have a go at a hopper wagon, because I had a product called Rusted, and I thought that would look quite interesting to use. So what I did is I bought an unpainted wagon, 21-ton hopper, day pole, and had a go. So if you stay with me, you'll see what happened. The donor wagons for the weathering experiment were a 21-ton hopper wagon by Daypole that was unpainted, and one of my Hornby Railroad EWS wagons, and they weren't expensive. The Daypole wagon, I think, was about £7 or £8, and the railroad wagon was about a tenner. So I wasn't going to use any of the expensive wagons. And what did I use? For the underframe, I just used some of the paints I already had. I think it was track dust and a light rusty colour, and just done a few dry brushing over the underframe and the wheels. And then I used the product Rusted, which I'd seen Tim Cooper at the scrapline using, so I thought that would be worth having a go. And so first off, what I did was to give the wagon, after the underframe had been looked after, a whole covering using a mixture of the two Rusteds. And as you'll see from the picture, this is where it came out at, and I was quite pleased with how it looked. But I did then think, in hindsight, and I did put it on Facebook, that perhaps it was a bit overdone. And it gives a lovely finish, and you get an almost three-dimensional feel of rust. But really, in hindsight, would it have actually been on the rails? It's more in a condemned state. So what I did was then took a cocktail stick and scraped a lot of it off, and as you'll see from this picture, it did give quite a good effect. Yeah, I was quite pleased with it. I also have to say that the Daypole and also the Hornby wagon had their own plastic imitation coal, and I did think that looked a bit dull and not too realistic. So I just used some real coal that I had picked up at a show, PVA'd it in, and I think that looks good. So that was the Daypole wagon. I had a little go again using the Rusted products, but just on the top of the EWS wagon, and a little bit around the sides to give a light weathering. And I also used some Nuln oil as well, just brushed over it, which highlighted the raised items, the rivets, and also gave a little weathering effect as well. So that was the EWS. So looking at it in conclusion, I think it came out okay. I was pretty pleased with it. But I'll just see what you chaps think, and perhaps you'd be kind enough to let me know. And something else I did was just to tidy up the wiring using these terminal blocks that I think Charlie from Chadwick used, with spade connectors on the end, and they really worked out very nicely because you get a great connection. That was my attempts at weathering, and I was pretty pleased with how it came out. But I, as mentioned, would be grateful for your suggestions, opinions, advice, and I'm going to continue to have a little go at it. So you've seen what's also happened in the garage, and I'm pretty pleased with how we've got on that. And I've got some quite exciting plans. I'll let you know near the date, just for the area that's in front of the industrial unit and what's in front of the tracks on the high street side. As I say, I'll keep you informed on that. So we come to the end of the video. As always, I really do thank you for your continued support, and best wishes out there to you all. I know we're still in this troubled times of different tiers and can I go out and can't and who can I see, and I really do find that modelling has helped me, so I'm sure it's helped you. So keep well, keep safe, and of course, happy modelling.